Good morning, children. Well, I'm talking to you after a long time. As we had a lockdown last Monday, so I had to send you whatever through offline. Anyway, you must have got your unit test results. Of course, some have fared very well, better than what they did last time. And some of you haven't. Actually, children, I want to tell you something, We are trying our best for you all so that you all, can not go out of track. We're doing online, offline, but some of you don't seem to bother at all. While some of them, whatever we say, they are sending us work, we are correcting, but some of you not bothered. And children, one thing, it's not that you have one long holiday, You don't know. Any time the school might reopen and the ones who have been doing their work will benefit, and the ones who have not been reading or writing will really have a tough time. So please be serious about your work. Have you understood? And also I told you that if you don't understand something, please get back to us. We will try to explain. Well, now this is an online class with you after a long time, and we will start with chapter 9, Ransom of Red Chief. Now, before I start the lesson, I want to tell you something about the author whose nickname is O. Henry. Actually, his name is, what is it? I'll tell you. It is William Sidney Poitier, but we know him as O. Henry. And O. Henry is this Ransom of Red Chief, which we are doing today, is one of his most popular stories. And his stories usually dealt with common people and very funny and humorous, and also ordinary day-to-day, incidents. He didn't go very high and all, but it was just basics. And they were like, lives of the common people in New York. And his, of course, like I told you, his stories are full of surprise and humor ending. Now, before I start the lesson, there are a few things that are written here. Read the 2 sentences given below. When I was younger, my father gave me the most important piece of advice. Read before you write and think before you speak. He said that. Now there's another sentence. When Tim was younger, his father gave him the most important piece of advice. He told Tim to read before he wrote and think before he spoke. Now on top there are inverted commas. Whatever he said was put into inverted commas. And read before you write and think before you speak was what he said. Second part, he says, he told Tim to read before he write and think before he spoke. Now, what is the difference? Well, I'll tell you what is the difference. The first sentence is direct. Like in the class, I'll tell you, take out your books. So, I'm telling you directly, isn't it? You all are sitting there, I'm telling you direct. Go out of the room, direct. All that. But if somebody asks you, somebody will ask you, what did Ma'am Sudha say? Then you'll say, oh, Ma'am Sudha told us to take out our books. Or, Ma'am Sudha told us to go out of the class. That is indirectly. You are telling somebody. So actually, we'll come to this later, but we are talking about direct and indirect speech here. Now, let's get on with the story. Now, I'm going to get on with the story. Now, the story is about how a young boy reacted when he was kidnapped and what is the aftermath. Aftermath means what happened after, like what were his actions that time. We were down in South Alabama, Bill Driscoll and myself, when this kidnapping idea struck us. Children, I hope you have all got your books open to page 117. Please, page Thing 117. Please open your books to that page. Bill and me had about $600 and we needed just $2,000 more to buy some land in Western Illinois. Now what happened, these two people, there were two friends, I suppose, Bill Driscoll and the author who is speaking. They had just $200, but they had $600 and they needed $2,000 to buy some land in Western Illinois. Have you understood? Now, how were they going to get that money? How were they going? So, what they thought was, of course, I want to tell you that Illinois and Alabama are in the United States of America. We figured that family love is strongest in semi-rural communities and decided to do a kidnapping in Summit, a small town. They figured, they thought, they calculated, they estimated that family love is strongest. Now children, when you go to the cities, everybody lives in flats, you don't even know who your neighbor is. When there is a problem, nobody comes to help you. A semi-rural area is something like a place like Kalimpong or Darjeeling, it's not even a city and it's not even a village. It's in between that. And if you notice children in Kalimpong, everybody is there to help each other, your neighbors. Somebody is sick in the neighborhood, the people come, help, take you to the hospital. Somebody dies, the whole community is there. So, like in the semi-rural areas, that closeness is there, which is not there in the big cities. Because I've been living in the big cities and I know how it is. I know the difference in the big cities and the small place like Kalimpong. So they thought that there'll be more closeness, they'll be more bothered about their families. And so they decided to do the kidnapping. Imagine, they thought of all that and they said, let's do our kidnapping in a small town, and they chose the victim. Now the victim is a person who is going to be kidnapped, who was the only child. Of course, they will only kidnap somebody who's got a lot of money and who's a very important person because they need the money. As for the victim to be kidnapped was the only child of a prominent citizen named Ebenezer Dorset, and he had a lot of wealth. Have you understood? He had a lot of wealth. And now let's say the boy who was to be kidnapped was a boy of 10 with freckles you have on your face, and bright red hair. Bill and me figured that Ebenezer would agree to pay a ransom. Now, this boy had, now what is freckles? Freckles is something you have on your face, light brown spots on your face, and he had red hair, so you can imagine the boy, how he looks. They said that about the fact that Ebenezer would agree to pay a ransom. Now what is ransom? The money demanded or paid for the release of someone who has been kidnapped. And $2,000. Now children, that is a lot of money. But then he tells us to wait, and he is going to tell us what happened later. Now, I suppose you have basically understood what the story is about. Very small town, two people wanting to kidnap a boy for money because they wanted to buy land. Have you understood all that? So, of course, you must have seen movies like I told you before, where, things like this take place. It's not something different. Now, what I want you to do is read this lesson properly, and tomorrow when I send you offline, I will send it to you offline. I hope you saw the movie, the short clip that I sent you, and I hope you understood a bit about the story. So what I want you to do is make some sentences. Now, please mark these words, children. The name of the sentences are needed, strongest, prominent, wealth, known citizen. I'm going to repeat it again. Needed, strongest, prominent, wealth, and known citizen. Now, and children, one thing, please improve your writing. Your writing, some of you, I'm sorry to say, is not as it used to be in the class, because some of you are not practicing. I've been telling you, practice your reading and writing. And some of your work is done so carelessly. No commas, you're not numbering it, you're not underlining. What has happened, children? You have forgotten everything. And now you have to read the other 2 pages, 2 or 3 pages. Now children, this is a little long chapter, so I want to do it very slowly so that you can understand every bit. And also, like tomorrow I'll be sending this paper offline in case you haven't understood. So you go through it, and anything you don't understand, you let me know and I will let you know. Okay? So, has everybody understood everything? Well, anyway children, you have a good, be good, don't trouble your parents, stay safe and listen to your parents. So what have you been doing otherwise, children? How do you spend your time? Don't tell me all of you are just in front of the TV or just playing games on your phone. Please don't do that. Like I've told you before, you will have to take an interest in your studies. Your English has to improve, your maths has to improve. And also because, like you are saying, oh, like you have a long holiday. No, children, suddenly one day you will be told, oh, all the schools are opening, and then you will have to come back to school. So because of that, children, we are telling you again and again. And children, like some of my children from the ones even local, only very few are sending, some from Bihar. I've got no response at all. Please, can you send your work so at least I know? Maybe some of you have got problems. You can, but there at least some of you, please send your work. At least we'll know. Otherwise, children, you lose touch with your writing, your reading. Nothing will be the same. Have you understood everything well? Okay then. Bye-bye. Stay safe once again. And be good. Don't trouble your parents.